The good news is you can do this. And I'm going to encourage you, whatever you've been through, my prayers are with you, my thoughts are with you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rolla, clinical psychologist, and today I'm continuing my self-disclosure series about my life after divorce. This is episode 12. Before I continue to talk about today's topic, please subscribe, press that notification bell so that you can have immediate access to my videos. Also, please follow me on social media at Ask Dr. Rolla, AskDrRolla. Today's episode is about my dating experience. And obviously, I'm not going to be divulging personal things about people that I've dated that could be negative. That's not the point. The point is really to share what I've learned, how this process has changed me, changed my perspective about dating, about relationships, and just really for anybody out there who is dating or they know somebody who's dating. I think some of the things I'm going to share today are going to be very helpful. So this is not a tool per se, but there are going to be some principles that I'm going to share from my dating experience that has really helped me to recover and to heal. At the time that I got married young, but not young. I'd moved to the United Kingdom. I'm a British citizen. I got married in my early 20s, I had my first child at 24. I'd already been helping my mom run a business since I was about 14, 15 years old. So yeah, I've been busy, and my ex and I had known each other since we were teenagers, and when it was time to talk about marriage, it was something that he brought up. It was never a situation where I was holding on, wishing that I would be moved from a friend to a girlfriend to being married. A lot of what's happening today is just a different world. It was, I really care about you. I've known you a long time. You're a Christian, I'm a Christian. We have a connection, and yes, we did. Let's get married. And that's what happened. It didn't happen overnight in terms of getting married, but in terms of he brought it up. He was clear as to what he wanted. And obviously we got married. So after a 15-year marriage, and now I'm divorced, the whole idea of dating wasn't even something I could even imagine. But as time went on, I decided that one of the ways I wanted to take hold of my life is to find out what the world of dating would be like after my divorce. It wasn't a matter of I want to get married in a year, I want to get married in 2 years. It was just, what is the world of dating like? I couldn't even, it was a plunge for me. It was an act of faith to even consider that. So what I did was I told myself, in order for you to even consider dating anybody, you need to start looking at other men. Like, you need to look at a man who is single as a potential. Doesn't mean you're going to marry them, but as a potential. Because all these years of being married, the thought of even looking at another man in a context of being in love with them obviously was not an issue. I don't even have time for that. No time, no energy. My values are totally inconsistent with that. So I started saying to myself, when you look at a man now who is single, think about the possibility that you could be in love with them at some point. I started to shift from the reality, what I'm used to in 15 years, and even the 2 years when we dated, which is 17 years now, started to shift from seeing my ex-husband as the only person I could love. And that was the beginning for me. I'm not trying to put marriage on anybody, but even seeing them as somebody that I could potentially love, and seeing the possibility that there are other men out there that could treat me right was empowering for me. I did not want to just always have in my head that the only person that could ever be there for me and love me emotionally is my ex. No. For me personally, that would keep me in a place where I'm constantly feeling stuck, or I'm praying for reconciliation, which I did for a while, but also considering that the only way God can answer my prayer is by him coming back or him treating me the way I want to be treated. No. So I started to look at men differently. I told my mom about it. I'm like, Mom, I looked at a man today. She's like, oh my God, this kid is driving me crazy. It makes her laugh, even though obviously she was very upset about my divorce. So it gave me something to be jocular about, something to laugh about. Sometimes when you're going through a very difficult time in your life, it's okay to be sarcastic. It's okay to be humorous. It's okay to relax. So that was what I did. Started looking at men. I felt good about it. I'll go home and laugh at myself. Instead of crying, I'll be laughing. That helps me to balance out my pain. Another thing too is that I made up my mind, and this is a matter of principle, and I'm going to encourage everybody out there, if you can do this, please do it, that until I'm officially divorced, I will not date anybody. Not consider them, not date them, not get to know them, not do phone calls with them. Because as long as I am married, even though I'm going through the proceedings, I am a married person. I am tied to my husband legally, and I'm tied to him spiritually, from my understandings as a Christian. Therefore, it is inappropriate for me to connect with somebody while I'm married, or even connect with somebody who after my divorce, that principle carry on to not dating people who are separated or divorced and living in different homes. It's too messy, it's too murky. If you're going to explore the world of dating, you want to try to keep it as less murky as possible. If somebody is entangled with legal issues and they're entangled with things and their relationship, then I don't want to be part of it. I don't need that drama. Another area that I also paid attention to as I started dating is I started to pray. And my prayer was in the area of having a positive attitude towards men in spite of what I've been through. My attitude was, yes, I've been hurt, but not every man out there is going to hurt me. And even if I may not like what they're bringing my way as I get to know them, I am not going to cause more harm to them. I have this principle of doing no harm. If I can't help you to be better when I get to know you, I'm not going to make it worse. And that empowered me to begin to challenge myself. Am I looking at this person through the lenses of pain, or am I looking at them through, just giving them a fair chance? And that really helped me to approach dating in a positive way. Now, were there times when I was so frustrated and feeling like, how dare somebody do that in terms of their attitude or some of the things that people are doing nowadays, calling it dating? Yes, I was. But I tended to minimize that and worked hard to minimize that. I found outlets to get out that frustration and try to be the best person I can. Why am I doing that? To give the right person the opportunity to get to know me for who I am. Not just as a wounded person, but as somebody who is pleasant, happy, joyful, full of dreams, full of hope. And I made up my mind that I was going to put my best foot forward. So I wanted to do that. And I'm going to encourage you, even though you've been hurt and you're going through a difficult time, the person that you come across is not obligated to burden all that you've been through. They didn't hurt you. It's not their fault that you went through what you went through. And it is unfair to dump everything that you've been through on them. And that helped me to meet people and kind of not take out the frustration and anger on them. And if I did, acknowledge that. And that helped me to not get entangled with people who were wrong for me or hurt people unnecessarily, so that I'm not feeding my pain, I'm feeding my hope. Dating for me was a way to say, I'm single. It's my right or my responsibility to meet people. And I started to enjoy that. Another thing that was critical for me was to bypass and reject some of the cultural expectations from within my culture, my subculture, as a Nigerian, as a Christian, more traditional, to bypass some of those views that, oh, you shouldn't be dating because you're in your 40s and 50s, it should be a fiance or getting married. Oh no, I wasn't interested in that. I wanted to get to know people well, and I refused to allow anybody to shame me for dating. So it was more like, if he wants to be with me, he should be my husband right now. That was not my position. My position was, I have enough time on my hands. I already have 2 children. I can take the time to get to know who I am going to get married to see if they're a good fit for me or not. They're making the decision about me, and I'm making the decision about them. So these all helped me as a good distraction. It helped me to understand that I'm still attractive, I'm still interested, I'm still fun. And then one of the things I did at the beginning of my dating experience was to get into personal training. And I remember the personal trainer asking me, like, what are your goals, Rola? Why do you want to do this? I said, I just want to look on point and look good for my very first date. And that's what I started to do. So whether I've been dating here or there or not, in and out of dating, in a relationship or not in a relationship, I maintained the personal training all these years. So I haven't always dated for the 14 years, but I've dated some relationships. 2 of them were a little bit more long-term, and other times it was just meeting people and just kind of meeting up and deciding if we even needed to date. But regardless, I found it to be an empowering experience in terms of me continuing to work out, taking care of my appearance, loving my life. And then another thing before I end this episode is really what I got from some of the people that I met along the line is the amount of validation I got from them. Thank God for that. They will say to me, how have you been able to work full time and take care of your children and go to school? Some of the things I took for granted and overlooked and minimized, I got validation from people that I met. And it empowered me and made me remember that I'm valuable. Oftentimes when you go through difficult relationships, you start to minimize yourself and think that you're not worthy. But I have to encourage you, along the way, pay attention to people that will validate you that may not be the person that you were hoping will validate you. And don't dismiss their compliments and their validation. Lay hold of it. It's going to help you to go through this difficult season in your life. So I wanted to continue this dating experience in another episode, the next episode, because I have a lot more to say about the world of dating compared to when 20 to 30 years ago, and how I have navigated that, how I still feel positive about it, even though I'm not married. I feel incredibly positive about the process of dating. And I want to encourage anybody out there who's maybe divorced or widowed, whatever the situation may be, to navigate the complexity of what it means to date in today's world, and also what it means to really maintain your sanity, your self-esteem, and date in a way that is positive and still not be jaded by the experience. So I will continue this in another episode, but I wanted to just give you a little bit of an eye-opener into my dating experience. Please share, please subscribe, and thank you very much for listening, and I will talk to you next time. Thank you. Bye.